Well, happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to the Cellercise program tonight. We've got, as usual, some good customer reviews. I've got some stories I'd like to share. We're going to do a real intense 30-minute weight loss and exercise program. So for those who want to participate, get your Cellercisers ready. But this is going, I'll go over it, but it's going to be a good 30-minute routine. It's all designed to really burn calories and burn weight. Now, I noticed that Sally and Stephanie were talking about adjusting the balance bar so you can do some sit and bounces. I wanted to ask you if you would like me to include some of those movements into the Mr. Rebounder app. We can easily do that. But they were doing programs like this where you can actually use your arms to pump up and down. You can pull in while you're doing it. You can hold yourself. Long bounces. You can kick back a little bit. You can kick back this direction, bounce up and down. So if you want those routines on the Mr. Rebounder app, just let me know. We can do that. Everything that you see that I built on my physique has all come from the movements that you see on the Mr. Rebounder app. So we have another weight loss program on the Mr. Rebounder app that we will be putting on there for all of you to use. And it's a takeoff from Brooklyn's weight loss program where she lost 26 pounds in 2 months. So she was doing the same routine. And it's a good little routine. She would sometimes do it twice. So she was highly motivated, but it'll be good for most of us to do once. All right, so and if you have questions, feel free to write the questions in. Justice and our little dog Samson are sitting in the back, and they'll feed those questions to us so we can answer those. And thank you again for being here. Thank you for all the wonderful phone calls we've received, for all the support you've given me. It makes a difference. Really appreciate it. Okay, so somebody was asking about jumping jacks. I don't advocate doing jumping jacks on the Cellerciser. The springs rarely will ever break unless you land on top of them. If you land on top of a spring, it can fracture a spring. In over 30 years, I have never broken a spring. No one in our family, our extended family, our cousins, our siblings, none of us have ever broken a spring. So I'm going to show you a glorified jumping jack, one that actually works more effectively anyway, and it's on our Mr. Rebounder app. But and I want to explain why it's better. So when you're standing on the Cellerciser, when you kick your legs out together like this, you're landing pretty much on the spring. But when you hold on to the balance bar, you kick one leg out and come down, you're going to get far more effective results leveraging that weight along the waist and the hips where we want to work just by coming down like this. So with all that weight on the leg. So kicking out side to side is going to be far more effective than just doing this. Now, if you want to work on the arms and shoulders, just do the baby bounce and move your arms up and down. You can clap behind your back if you want. You're going to get more benefit doing that anyway. So I just wanted to share, if anybody has broken a spring and they were doing jumping jacks, the jumping jacks, about one of the only things that are going to potentially fracture a spring. So I hope that helps. All right, we're going to come back to Gwen. Gwen was sharing, she's shared a great story. She's one of our incredible Cellercise family members who's had some wonderful results, and she's written some great reviews. One of the ones that she was sharing with me is that when she's feeling down or when she's challenged with stress or health issues, she'll get on the Cellerciser and she visualizes her cells, all of the cells in her body. She just visualizes the cells with faces, kind of like those smiley faces. But the cells are frowning. They're not happy. She may be under stress. She may be fighting against something. Whatever the case is, she's there and she sees these cells that are frowning. And then she sees them starting to smile. And as she sees them, she sees all these cells turning their frowns into smiles, and they're all clumped together and they're all happy. And she knows that it can't help but affect her. And it does. So if you are fighting with negative energies from whatever source, get on that Cellerciser and just see your cells as being happy and smile and see how that makes you feel as well. So that was great. Thank you. Somebody was asking me about a calf stretch. And there's a great movement that you can do on this Cellerciser, especially if you can lean up against something and just the whole back of the leg. If you lean forward and take and then see, all right, just as you take your foot and just kick your heel back, you press down and bounce. And as you lean forward and press back, you're able to get that great stretch in the back of the leg. And it's just a great little technique. So, and somebody was asking about wearing shoes or not, and I don't recommend shoes because the foot's supposed to be flexible and shoes are more restrictive. We end up with a lot of foot problems when we wear shoes all the time, and then we go out and try to do something more active, and the fascia and the ligaments of the tendons, they're not flexible enough because shoes are limited in their flexibility. So when you're on a Cellerciser, I recommend barefoot socks or soft-soled slippers to give a little additional support, but where the foot over time can start moving and become more flexible again. That way it supports your natural balance rather than being manipulated by a shoe or restricted by a shoe, because that can become actually more painful. All right, somebody was asking about healing a broken ankle. And this is what I did. And it's worked with a number of people that we've dealt with. Or a sprained ankle, same principle. If we're holding on to this Cellerciser with the balance bar and we're close to the edge, but we hold one foot over the mat and we just gently move up and down just like this, this movement up and down will create a weight-bearing activity with increased circulation. What does that mean? It means there's going to be more osteoblastic activity. Doctors know bones and muscles heal faster and grow stronger when exposed to some stress. That's the idea behind the walking cast. Well, if we have a sprained ankle or a broken ankle, we don't necessarily want to put weight on it yet. We may have a boot, but that's the idea of the boot, is we can just hold our foot over to the side, gently bounce up and down, and that pumping action helps reduce the inflammation, improve circulation, and promote faster healing. Okay, we had a customer who took a bunch of vitamin pills and capsules, and they got stuck in the esophagus. And when they got stuck in the esophagus, they were trying to clear it, and it wasn't clearing, and they were trying to drink some water to get it down. It wasn't working. And one of our Cellercise family members said, "Get on the Cellerciser and bounce." And so they drank the water, they got on the Cellerciser, they bounced, and it cleared. And they said, you know, there may be other people that might have a hard time if something gets choked, and that movement up and down might help free it. So I thought I'd share that. If you ever need to clean the Cellerciser, just, you know, it's soap and water, a little, what is it, Ivory, or what's the soap, the Dawn dishwashing soap and water will work. Or you can take it to a car wash. Turn it upside down, open up, turn it upside down, take the car wash, take that little brush, brush it off, hose it off, spray it off, and you're done. It's not going to hurt the unit. Okay. All right, so we've got some reviews. Some of them I may have read last week, I'm not sure, but they're good enough to read again. Some of them are going to be new. Paul writes, for the last 20 or 25 years, when I look in the mirror, I see my right shoulder about an inch lower than my left shoulder. After doing the Cellerciser and using the Mr. Rebounder app for a month, maybe a month and a half, my shoulders are now level. Thank you, Dave. Misty, I'm 64. The Cellerciser has kept me healthy. I only do 10 minutes per day. Thanks, David Hall. And we had a lady call in today. She's she works with people in helping them live longer lives. And she's been doing this as a trainer for many years. And she says from head to toe, which is true, the Cellerciser is working to improve the health, efficiency, and strength throughout the entire body. And her husband's 91, and we had a good chance to talk with him today. They're joining the Cellercise family, and she's going to incorporate this into her program because she recognizes the value of it. So we welcome her. Carolyn writes, I love my Cellerciser. I'm so thankful for it. Joe writes, hi Dave, really enjoy your videos. I'm nearly 75 and gradually working on my way up to doing more and more of your exercises. They really make me feel better. Thank you, Joe. Kim writes, hi Dave, I like incorporating the Cellerciser with kettlebells. It's a really good workout and I never get bored. Results come quickly and consistency. And I think I mentioned that if you really care, if you're kettlebells off the Cellerciser are great. If you're doing them on the Cellerciser, not so good because it leverages a lot of weight and that can be damaging accumulatively on ligaments and tendons. So, but good. Myrna writes, great experience. I will remember that phrase, bounce till there's no tomorrow. Thanks for sharing. Fran writes, hi Dave, I hope you continue to make content and answer questions. This is very helpful. Thank you, Fran. I hope we can do that for quite a while too. Okay, so we're going to come to these are the questions. We'll save those. Okay, I don't know if we've read this before or not, but this is from Holly. She writes, my Cellercise experience has been wonderful and a godsend. I've always been an athlete and was a certified personal training in my late 20s. I've always taken care of myself and ate well, but everything started to change in my late 30s and things that I've always done stopped working. I started getting cellulite, even though I was thin. And in 2008, I started having severe abdominal pain and edema. The doctors could not help me or identify what was causing my symptoms. Through the years, I would find things that would work a bit temporarily, but nothing helped long term. Then I started rebounding, but it hurt. So I could not understand why people said this was good for them. So I started to do my research and I noticed better sleep almost right away. The nighttime health bounce to relax the entire body really works. One night I could not sleep and I realized I forgot to bounce before bed. I got up at 1:30 a.m., bounced for 2 to 3 minutes, went back to bed, and the next thing I remember is waking up the next morning. I have a chronic neck and back pain for as long as I can remember and would often wake up in the morning with pain in those areas. About a week, after a week, I noticed I was no longer waking up with any pain. I still get pain some days as the days go on, but all I have to do is get on the Cellerciser for a few minutes and then the pain is gone and I'm good to go again. I also have irritable bowel syndrome and bloating and gas can come on when I least expect it. As soon as I feel any discomfort, which can be as bad as a sharp pain through my upper back and shoulder, I get on the Cellerciser for a few minutes, sometimes 10 to 15 minutes if it's really bad, and most, if not all of the discomfort is gone. And that's true. That movement side to side, the gentle twist, that can help alleviate those issues. Yes, Justice?
Angela says, hurt rib, can you still help bounce to heal it? Quicker lean over the car and rammed into the console, so maybe really bruised.
Really bruised a rib. Broke, cracked, possibly cracked it. Yeah, ribs are painful. I've done it many times and they get worse before they get better. In fact, we've got a gentleman who's just doing some work on our house today that I talked to. He's got it all taped. He'd play some hockey and they ran into him, cracked his ribs, and yes, the Cellerciser can help. It's still going to hurt, but it's going to take some time. But it can help promote faster knitting. The movement up and down is very gentle. You'll feel it. You don't have to overdo it. But the movement up and down helps to break up, again, the inflammation, but promote the circulation and the healing process. I'm hoping over time that my symptoms will lessen and go away altogether. Irritable bowel syndrome again. I've had these issues for 8 years, so I'm sure it will take time. During my 3rd week of Cellercising, I cannot believe I was regaining my energy. I had to use stimulants just to get through the day, and even then, I would have highs and lows. Every day I notice more energy, clarity of mind, focus, and it's easier to remember names and information I would normally forget right away. I notice I can concentrate better and articulate my message better during conversations. This is truly amazing as I've struggled for years with these brain fog issues. I had my hip pulled out of the socket 19 years ago while giving birth to our second daughter, and I never completely went back into place. After a few days of doing the pendulum swing, that's one I was just showing you, bounce, my left hip popped back into place, and my right pulled groin loosened up and stopped hurting. The lower back exercises relieved my back pain from lordosis and mild scoliosis. I'm laughing and enjoying life more, all without the need for stimulants. All right, Holly, love it. I know I have a long way to go, but seeing improvements here and there give me hope to someday be pain-free and healthy once again. Thank you for creating the Cellerciser, the best rebounder mini trampoline on the market. Because of how the Cellerciser has improved my health, life, and my family's, I want to tell everyone at work until every household and office has at least one Cellerciser. Thank you for letting me be part of the Cellercise movement, and I could not think of a better calling other than parenthood than helping others to look and feel their best. God bless. Thank you, Holly. Not sure, does it sound familiar? I'm not sure if it's because I read it earlier or because I read it last week, but I sure appreciate that. Okay, Laura writes, okay, let's read Laura's. Laura just called me, this just came in, and a couple days ago. I want to read Laura's earlier review and then read the more recent one, so you're up to date. She says, today I'm working on challenges. Bank account was hacked. Have to change the account of 30 years. Oh, that was me writing to Laura. It was a stressful day. All right. So she writes, hi Dave, thanks for talking with me about how to recover using the Cellerciser. The Cellerciser helped me recover from long haul COVID initially. I could only drape my body over the bar and do 12 baby bounces. I returned to work and secured a career improvement position with another company. 2 years later, I was hospitalized for over 2 months with around 50 days in the ICU, critical care. For 3.5 weeks, I was in a medically induced coma and paralyzation. When they brought me out of the coma, I was still paralyzed and on a ventilator. Doctors and nurses described my extensive life-saving treatments as medical torture. They called me their miracle because I lived. Prayers work. I was transferred to an inpatient rehab hospital for 8 days of physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language therapy, and respiratory. My physical therapist and occupational therapist stated they could tell that I was in good shape prior to illness due to my quick progress that challenged them to challenge me. Thanks, Cellerciser. Outpatient PT failed to challenge me. Oh, outpatient therapist. Per my conversation with Dave, I started with sitting on the Cellerciser and holding the bar. The second week, I added baby bounces and hip rocks. On day 47 of recovery, I was able to do leaning kicks that looked and felt like small kicks. Less than 2.5 months from paralyzed on ventilator and only able to answer yes or no questions by blinking my eyes to walking unassisted, no cane on reasonably level surfaces. My doctors have been surprised by the improvement of my health as evidenced in x-rays and labs. Thanks, Cellerciser. I baby bounce while doing my hand and wrist exercises with flat bands and isoflex balls. Thanks for the hand gyro recommendation on your live session for nerve and muscle damage. The RPM power ball and power spin have accelerated my hand and wrist movement improvement. Good to hear. I highly recommend the Cellerciser. It worked when I was too weak to stand on it. The Cellerciser helped me at my weakest when standing was very difficult. It has allowed me to strengthen my balance, muscle, and endurance due to its versatility. Dave, your willingness to talk with me at my weakest and your videos have been invaluable. Thanks. Thank you, Laura. She writes, a year ago I was on a ventilator in a medical coma and paralysis. My original testimony was regarding using Cellerciser to rehab from only being able to sit, bounce, and doing kicks. My 9-month from hospital release lung CT scan, 9 months later, showed no scarring from COVID, bacteria pneumonia, and bleeding lungs. Prayer and Cellercising works. Yeah, it does. Thank you, Laura. And I want to thank all of you again for sharing these reviews, because I know you're putting it out there, but you never know who's listening. And you may be able to share these with others. And again, we don't know. Cellercise has been a miracle in my life. It's been a miracle in a great many people's lives. And the movement up and down, the circulation, the strength, the balance, equilibrium, that is just, every household needs one. Jen writes, "Hi Dave, quick note, thank you for your discussion about motivation on your live stream. It hit home. I believe sometimes we get embarrassed to admit that we don't always stay on track. I've had my Cellerciser for about 3 years and use it daily for the most part. I'm in the best shape of my adult life. Knee pain, gone. Foot pain, gone. The amount of stretching and toning that can happen on the Cellerciser is amazing. My only regret is not getting one sooner. Sincerely, Jen." Thank you, Jen. Okay. Mary writes, "Oh, hi Dave. We talked the other day and I signed up to be an affiliate. I have worked nonstop trying to get the word out. I don't know if they will choose the Cellerciser or not, or if they will use my link. I just sent the link, but do not say that I am an affiliate. Also, I send the video where you bottom out on the bungee cords." Yeah. "I asked about the diameter because an anonymous person said that she has a 50-inch wide Cellerciser with handle holds that messed up her knees. So she was going to get a bungee one. I told her that the Cellerciser with multiple handholds does not exist, nor do we have a 50-inch model. So she must have a different brand, haha. One thing I have noticed, because that may have become from a competitor, I think the bungee people were intimidating the Cellerciser people. But now that I've started speaking up, the Cellerciser people are coming out of the woodwork. Yippee. Well, that's it for now. Keep up the great work, Mary. Nothing against bungee cord units. Bouncing is fun. But for some reason, they compare themselves to a Cellerciser. There really isn't a comparison. They're different, and they need to remain in their respective states. But I don't want to go into they're just different. Okay, so Dave writes, ran across a couple of non-Cellercise YouTube videos recently that seem to support some of the movements you've been talking about for years. There are a number of videos on a study of activating the soleus muscles in the calf and the benefits of working that muscle, fat burning for one. They call the technique the soleus push-up. And then he gives a link to that. This technique is done while sitting down, but looks very similar to some of the bouncing techniques in the Cellercise workout videos. Dr. Sean O'Mara has a number of videos on the problems with visceral fat. His recommendations include not doing endurance type exercise, but rather occasional sprint intervals. The sprint intervals result in the leg muscles releasing myokines, which influence muscle growth, etc., throughout the body more effectively than less intense activity, and most importantly, burns visceral fat deposits. This sprinting technique looks like the Jamba run on the Cellerciser. We're going to do some of that tonight. Both techniques appear to further validate your message on the effectiveness of using a Cellerciser for muscle building and weight control, etc. Hey, Justice, have I ever done weightlifting?
Nope.
I don't need to. We don't need to. We're doing weight bearing. But I tell you, with all the, you look at the bodybuilders and they've got the veins and the cardiovascular circulatory systems breaking out. And the Cellerciser opens up circulation. It backflushes valves. It helps to open up capillaries and increase the flexibility of the blood vessels. Hardening of the arteries is the #1 degenerative disease. So keep Cellercising. Dave, okay. Oh, this was Gwen. Okay, this was Gwen. Gwen wrote this earlier this month, and she's the one who has, she visualizes the cells as happy cells with smiles on their faces while she's bouncing. She says, I just got off the phone with you, and as usual, I feel uplifted and encouraged. Thank you so much. The imagery of the cells with sad faces turning into happy faces when I Cellercise impacted me differently when I shared it with you. It made me smile all over again. Following you will find the email I sent to you back in 2022. As I said on the call, I'm still walking this path. It's truly a journey, but one I choose to call a journey of hope. And we want to enjoy the journey. We don't have to stay the way we are. Once we become aware of negatives or toxins in our lives, and those toxins are physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, relationship-oriented, work-oriented, there's all kinds of negatives. And we want to usher as much of it out of our lives as we can in our thought processes. So we don't want to feed upon the negative. We want to, once we recognize them, replace it with a positive Cellercise so it leaves a strong impression on the brain at the bottom of the bounce, because there's chemical activities occurring in the brain as we use it, and use that as a meditative state to help define the person you want to become. And I love the conversation you and I had when you talked about the line between sickness and health, and that most people just strive to be less sick instead of being more healthy. That's my goal, to be as healthy as I can be, to attain the highest level of health possible. Thank you again for our conversations and for listening to me talk about the experience on the Cellerciser. It helps to share, especially with the person that started it all. I hope this brightens your day and reminds you of how impacting just one person can be in the lives of multiple people. Many blessings to you. Thank you. And I'll save the original of Gwen's for another time, so we can go through some of these questions. And get your Cellercisers ready, because we're going to, again, we're going to do a 30-minute Cellercise weight loss program when we're done. It's all about weight loss, increasing metabolism, burning fuel, and it's going to be on the Mr. Rebounder app too. So we've got several really good weight loss programs already on the app. This is a derivative, as I mentioned, of what Brooklyn has done in the past when she lost 26 pounds in just 2 months. Okay. Lori writes, I have hammer toes on right and left feet close to the big toe. What exercise should I do? Should I place my sole of my feet to get the best benefit for the hammer toes to relax, or in time? It's an elective surgery, which I prefer not to do. Thank you, Dave. Love hearing the testimonies. Keep playing in. Thank you, Justice. Once again, thanks, Lori. And yeah, there are gentle stretch movements you can do with the toes, and I've done them. Don't overdo it. You can cause toe issues with the ligaments and tendons, but just by curling the toes, gently bouncing to get stretch in those areas, that can be really helpful. Yes, Justice.
Becky says, any updates on when the minerals will be?
Yeah, Becky, thank you. Yeah, they're waiting on me. I've got to get the landing page written material in. I just have to walk away from the business day-to-day activities in order to be able to do that. And that's all. We've got them ready. They're ready to produce. If you want to call, go ahead and give me a call, and I'll get some out to you. You won't have to wait any longer. And that's just for the Cellercise family online here. So just call me tomorrow, and we'll do it. They're going to be about $24. They're normally, if you look in the stores, $30, $40. I've seen them at $50. They last for several months. So.
Kathy says, my friend ordered a Cellerciser and has been trying to reach you for a week. She left messages and no one will call her back. How can she get some help? I'll DM her your number.
Call her back and see if I did have, if I've gotten in touch with her, because I probably have. But my direct line for anybody who needs to reach me, leave a message, because I call back on the messages, is 435-562-4457. But check with her and see if I have it, because I had someone today that said that, and I did talk to them. All right, what movement would you do to strengthen the muscles around your knees? That's the jamba walk and the hip rock. The ski patrol, those are all going to work. So to demonstrate again, the hip rock side to side, this is working the knee. The ski patrol takes it to another level. The jamba walk takes it even beyond that. Okay, I have very weak kneecaps and I'm afraid of Cellercising won't work with me though. Yeah, it strengthens the kneecaps. It builds them up. That just sounded like a familiar question. If it burns more calories than other exercise types, should weight loss happen quickly if diet is maintained? It can. It depends. I mean, if you're burning more calories, Cellercise burns a lot of calories. It has 3 forces working on the body, not just one. You're not just working muscles. You're creating G forces that are on every muscle. So that's 75 trillion cells flexing 100 times a minute instead of just a few muscle groups. So it's very effective. If you do the jamba run, you can really only do it effectively on the Cellerciser. You can't do it on the ground, you hurt your back. But on a Cellerciser, you keep your back straight. Just do the jamba run. That keeps the weight over the thighs. Those thighs are going to really be working. Are the springs different than the springs that came with the Rebounder 2 years ago? Does the color make any difference in sound? Not sure what that means. We don't have different colors. It sounds like that was almost for a bungee cord unit or something. The springs are all the same, one spring for all family members. It adapts to the weight and the height that the person is jumping on it. Yes?
She said she hasn't spoke to anyone yet. Can you repeat the phone number again?
You bet. 435-562-4457. Thank you. Yeah, have her leave a message because I get back to the messages. How do I clean the spring cover of the Cellerciser? And what stretches should I do after Cellercising? You can do any stretches you want. You don't need to. I rarely do stretches, although I do like the one that I showed you where you kind of reach down, grab the frame, and sit back a little bit. It's a great stretch. In fact, I'll show that to you because it came up earlier today too. It's just real simple. You just bend at the knee, grab the frame, and then just lean back. Oh, that feels good. It even feels good now. It just stretches the lower back. And then if you lean to the right a little bit and stretch your leg, you'll feel the stretch all along the back of the leg. And then you can lean back the other direction. And you can gently bounce if you want to help increase even more flexibility. But those are good movements. Okay. Any other questions? All right, guys, let's get ready. This is, let me go through the routine real quick. And again, this will be on the Mr. Rebounder app. But we're going to do the health bounce, baby bounce. And the reason again for that, let's warm up the tissue, let's warm up the cells, let's break up stress, tension, blockages, open up circulation. Then we're going to do some power breathing to open up the bronchial tubes in the lungs, increase that oxygen throughout the system. Cells need oxygen, burn calories, utilize nutrients. Yes, Justice.
Paul says, hi Dave, is there a trick to doing the sit and stand? I have long legs and I find it super hard to get up and down.
A trick to do the sit and stand? Not really, other than if you're not ready for it, just do the jamba walk. That jamba walk gives you incredible strength. The ski patrol, that will also give you incredible strength. And it's a byproduct. It's not something you have to work at. So as your legs and the knees get stronger, and they do, then it'll just get easier. Like I said, it's just kind of a byproduct of what happens. So we'll do the power breathing. Then we're going to do a sprint. Now the sprint, you can do it gently if you want, or you can do it moderately, or you can do it really, really fast. For those who say this is too easy, do it fast, because it isn't. Yes, Justice.
Paul says, also, how can I permanently turn off the music on the app? It turns itself on
Yeah, just hit the little mute button. There's a little mute button. It's got some musical notes. I'll show you on the unit when you actually play it. You just hit that mute button. Yes, Justice.
And Paul says, is a stand of seat easier for someone who is not tall?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm not. I'm only about 5'11", 6 foot, depending on the shoes I wear. But 5'11" right now. So somebody is taller, probably, yeah, it's going to be a little harder. You just want to lean forward a little bit more when you're getting up. Okay, sprint moderate. Then we're going to do the baby health bounce. And so we get everything moving, got that circulation moving through the body. Then we're going to do the twist. We want to move this, work on the smooth muscles too. If we're losing weight, people can hold a lot of fecal matter and food can be caught in the intestines. So we want to move it. We want to help release that. So we'll do that twist, the smooth muscles. Very few exercises ever address it, and it's so important. And then we'll do the Jamba run, okay? And that's going to be increasing our metabolism. That's going to be burning fuel. We'll do the baby health bounce. Yes, Justice.
Paul says, I hit the button and it turned itself on again each time it changes an exercise.
Are you using Android or Apple? Because I've not heard that before.
And then Sherry says, what is the sit-in stand?
Oh, okay. So we're actually going to do that in this series, but it's where you stand by the Cellerciser, you sit down, and then you stand up again. So and you can do a series of those, and that strengthens. Yeah, I've never ever heard of when you hit the music button to mute it, that it turns back on.
He
So,
has Apple. He has an Apple.
So do I. Remove the app, delete it, and reinstall it. And that should take care of it. Sounds like something got caught in the cache or something while it was updating. So then we'll do the baby health bounce, we'll do the sprint moderate, then we'll do the Jamba run again. Then we'll do the hip rock, intense hip rock, working the muscles in the hips, and we're going to use the shoulders, we're going to work all these muscles as well. Then we're going to do the sprint moderate again, then we're going to go to the baby health bounce. Breathe, get a lot of oxygen. So when you do that sprint moderate the third time, you might want to sprint a little harder. And then we're going to do the Jamba run. We'll do the twist again. Then we'll do the sprint moderate, baby health bounce, catch our breath, Jamba run. Warm up hip rock, side to side. So we're going to do that one just to help get that oxygen. Then we're going to do power breathing to increase that oxygen again back into the bloodstream. And we're working the lungs. We're going to be working the lungs too, because these are very important. Getting enough oxygen in our bloodstream, that in and of itself, getting the oxygen can increase metabolism, can help us with weight loss. So strengthening the lungs, opening up the bronchial tubes, increasing the ability of the body to absorb that oxygen, that's all part of the weight loss. It's not talked about much, but it's important. Okay, then we're going to do baby health bounce, sprint moderates, baby health bounce, Jamba run, baby health bounce, power breathing, sprint moderate, back kick. So we'll work some of the big muscles in the back as well. We'll do the twist, then we'll do the stand to sit. We're going to do a sit and bounce. Do it to where it's comfortable. So yes, Justice.
Sherry says, is the baby bounce with feet staying on the mat? Is there an extra benefit to raising the heels up?
Oh yeah, there's a benefit for raising the heels up. You don't have to raise them up a lot, but when you raise them up a little bit, that calf muscle flexes, feeding circulation back to the heart, helping to reduce edema, swelling, varicose veins, improving circulation in the lower extremities. That's the weakest area of circulation in the body for most people because it's the furthest area from the heart. So as we're moving up and down and then we lift the calf muscles, we're pumping and using and improving our circulation to help, again, reduce edema, swelling, varicose veins, increase that circulation. Then we'll do the bounce crunch. So we'll be sitting, bouncing, do whatever one you want. You can do with both feet on the ground. So when we do the sit and bounce, you can just gently stand here, put your hip or your hands right by your hips to help support your back. When you feel strong enough, lift your hands up, bounce up and down. It's all being done with the stomach muscles. As you get stronger, if you feel comfortable, don't do this if you haven't done it for a while, because I don't want you to strain your back. We're building the back up at the same time. So as you get stronger, you can lift up one leg. That leverages the weight right here in the lower abdominals where everybody wants to work. That's intense. Lift up the other leg eventually. Eventually you can lift up both legs. And then again, you can be bouncing like this, or you can go cheek to cheek, or in and out, or up and down. So you can take it to whatever level you want. So again, all right, and then we'll stand up. We'll do the hip rock just to start to relax. I will add a gentle twist in there before we publish it. And then, in fact, let me show you how to do that. So if you have the Mr. Rebounder app, and I want to edit it, it's got an edit button. Can they see this okay, Justice? Got it?
It's just always glary.
Okay, we hit the edit button, and we're going to add a movement. And that movement we want to add is the twist. So we're going to come down here. We're going to put the amount of time that we want to do that, and I'm going to go 30 seconds. I'm going to add to the workout. Okay, it's been added. I'm going to go back to the program. So here's what we've been working on. And the twist is down here. I'm going to bring it from here up to that position. Scroll up. I'm going to hit save. Changes are saved. We're ready to go. All right. Yes?
Sherry says, so should the baby bounce always be done lifting the hill?
It doesn't have to be. If you bend at the knee, you can still do a baby bounce like this where you feel a little more support. This is a baby bounce. It still works. Lifting the heels up and down just focuses a little more effort into the calf muscle. That's all. But this is still good. And it's very easy, very gentle. This is what babies do. So important. The moment they stand up in a crib and they bounce up and down. And that's how they get their balance, improves their balance, circulation, strength. It all works. Okay, we ready? All right, guys, let's do it. Okay, and let me know if when you remove the app and then restore it, that should work, because I'm going to do the same thing when we start this program. So I'm going to go back to home, hit settings, and for those who know, I've got connect Bluetooth device. So I'm going to use our wireless module that we attach to the unit. I'll show you real quick. Okay, there's our wireless module. This little guy connects to the app, and it feeds data information to the app. So the number of bounces you do, the intensity, the number of calories being burned, the amount of time between the next movement. That's what this thing helps to include within the app itself. Yes, Justice?
What will this routine be called on the app?
Weight loss 1, because we had weight loss 2, and weight loss 1 got lost. So we're going to call it weight loss number 1. And I'm going to turn that on. Connect Bluetooth device. Connected. We are ready to go. So I'm going to go back to my workout page. I'm going to go back to the weight loss number 1 routine. Get started. Up. Put that back. Okay, so this. Justice, can you turn the music up with the channel? Because I'm not hearing it. Is it working? Oh, it's not working? Seriously? Okay. It's turned off permanently. I don't know what you did, Paul, but it's not playing the music. Give me a second here. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so I'm gonna restart the system real quick.
How to use AirPlay button.
I may have to do the same thing if I have to remove the app and then restore it. Because we're doing changes right now on the Rebounder app where we're interfacing it so that the Android and the Apple work collectively together when we're making changes and upgrades. We're doing a number of upgrades right now, so that would be unfortunate, but could be part of the case. So, Justice, would you find some good music? Put it on your phone.
I don't think it'll be loud enough, but
No, just put it on your phone. Yeah, it'll be loud enough.
I can try putting it on your phone.
I don't want it too loud. All right. And that's the other thing. You mute the music and then you can play your own music as well. But I'll show you where that mute button is again. Don't you love electronics? I used to really get discouraged and frustrated with it. Now it's like, if something's going to go wrong, it will, and that's okay. We get through it. And we can all relate to it. That's a good thing too. All right, so go back to the Rebounder app. And gonna hit start focus. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this works first. We're gonna go to my workouts. All right. Let's try this again. Weight loss, number 1. There we go. Okay, so when we get ready to start, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you've got a little music icon. Yeah, that was it. Right here. And that's what plays the music. And I've got to screen it to the TV still. But if you hit that little note right there, that just turns off the music. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to setting it up on our screen so you can watch. Yeah. And I was looking for something. All right. Thank you for your patience.
Paul says he has a workout rock music routine on Spotify that really kicks that rock and roll, makes the workout go fast.
Go for it. That's why we had the option of muting it, so you can add your own music, which is nice. And we got that from you. There were a lot of the additions we've made to the Rebounder app are because of you. Okay, so I'm going to reconnect this guy again. Just hit that little button. And we are connected. Go back to the program, my workouts, and start. And let's see if the music plays, because maybe it's an interface problem with the TV. You don't want it to be too loud, though. Justice, can you turn the music up on the TV? It's an interface problem with the TV.
I don't know. It's not.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
I can just play.
Yeah, go ahead and play your music. Turn it on. Good. So let's do the health or baby bounce. And I'm going to start it again. Here we go.
Whoa, what is that?
Okay, go ahead and play it. Thanks. All right, just relax. We're getting the circulation moving through the whole body, giving ourselves a little internal scrub brush, activating the lymphatic system, challenging our balance and equilibrium, and we're providing a weight-bearing exercise on every cell throughout the entire body. So they're all, if you have sticky blood cells, which is common today, as the body becomes acidic, blood cells get sticky, they're not circulating as well. We're moving up and down right now. We're separating the sticky blood cells. And there's a sodium-potassium pump that actually generates a field of energy around the outside of the cell membrane to separate them. So now they'll have more access to oxygen and nutrients, and they'll circulate more effectively through the body. And power breathing. So, there's a, all right, this is good. I've got to stop and go back to an adjustment. Look at this. It's doing 5 seconds between each movement. Yeah, just go ahead and pause. Thanks, Justice. It's doing 5 seconds between each movement, which is one of the options. You can put the amount of time between each movement. By default, it comes to 5. So when I go to options, I'm going to take it down to 0. We don't really need any time. I'm going to save that, just so you know how to do that on your Miss Rebounder app as well. And then we're going to start again. But I don't want to go through that whole thing with that. All right, so again, we'll do a minute. Moving up and down. Justice, you're in charge of music. I wonder why that doesn't... Oh, I bet the sound system's not connected on that. Is that what you want? Find something.
I can't like find a song that's 30 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, it's
None of my songs are like, don't have lyrics on it.
yeah, we have to be kind of careful about music anyway, so.
Right.
All right, guys. We may do this without music, so I'll just talk us through it tonight. Because the music we play, we have license for, and the music that Justice plays, we may not have license for.
This is instrumental music.
Yeah. Okay, power breathing. And don't do too much of that when you first begin. If you sound wheezy, you want to open up the bronchial tubes in the lungs, and they may sound a little congested to begin with, and that's okay. So now we're doing the running, and you can run slow or fast. If you lift your knees up high enough, you're really working the core too. If you pull in on the stomach muscles, you're really working the core as well. So keep your shoulders up, shoulders back a little bit, pull your chin in. You're really helping to strengthen your proper posture as well. We're on our way.
Angela said play Dad's 80s rock.
Play what?
She was like, play Dad's 80s rock.
You can find it. Go ahead, Justice.
80s rock?
Why not? Well, I don't know. If you think it's not good, don't do it.
I don't know, I've never heard it before.
Okay. Okay, breathe deep. We just oxygenated the body. Now we're moving that oxygen through the body. Okay, the twist. Let's work on those smooth muscles. Okay. Yeah, it works. All right. So we're loosening the back. We're working on massaging the liver, kidneys, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, the adrenals, as well as the colon and the intestines. If you lift your arms up just a little bit, it works the upper back as well. Just as if you want, you pick whatever you want. Okay. All right. Jambaran. We're pushing down into the mat. Just like this. We're going to do this for a full minute. So if you can only do the Jamba walk, by all means do it. It's very, very effective also. And if it's too easy for you, lift your feet up a little bit more. But we got a good routine ahead of us, so I'm going to do it just like this. I don't need to lose too much weight. But this will be a great program for all of you who really want to go after calories and burning off the fat, increasing circulation, helping to grow new capillaries to the legs and the thighs, getting access to the cellulite, and strengthening the knees. All right, health or baby bounce. And then we're going to do this sprint. I didn't realize I could look there. I hope you can see that and read those numbers all right. Okay, sprint again. Lift those knees up. Shoulders back a little bit. Chin in. And that helps to really strengthen the posture and tighten your core. And that's the key. I think people try to make this a lot harder than it needs to be. This is great. Okay, Jambaran. We're going to give the legs a workout tonight. Now the key to this, keep your back straight, your feet flat, sitting back almost a little bit on the heels. The reason for that is it keeps the weight working on the big muscles. I like to think of the Jambaran is revving up a 12-cylinder engine, and you're really burning fuel rather than a 4-cylinder engine. Because this movement you can't do, again, effectively on the ground or anything else. It doesn't work. But here, when you have a bar to hold on to, keeping your back straight, you can keep it focused right there. That should feel good. We love and hate it. It's a great movement. Okay, hip rock. Oh, that's what you want? Okay. As you rocking side to side, drop your shoulders, lift the shoulders up and down. And that pumps the colon here too. So the colon is kind of like an accordion. Comes up this side, across, and then down. So we're really helping to improve that digestion elimination. All right. And we're running in place this time only 30 seconds, so you can go a little harder if you want to. Okay, then we do health bounce, baby bounce. Find something else. Go ahead. Yeah, and that works. In the Mr. Rebounder app, when we put this on the app itself, you'll be able to pick whatever music you want. Okay, next move again is going to be the Jamba run. So we're burning fuel, and again, it all depends on you, the intensity, how much you want to give it, as to how much fuel you're going to burn. You notice the intensity meter goes up when I do it like this. So obviously you're burning more fuel. It's still pretty intense though, even when we're doing it this way. So you got an intensity meter. That little module is counting the number of bounces. It's showing the number of calories that we've burned so far. And it has a timer. It shows you how much time before the next move, which is the twist. So, good. That's good, Justice. And again, if you want to work the upper back, just lift those arms up a little bit. Go gentle though, especially if you haven't done it. Okay, next move. That's not what this is. Huh. Oh, okay, yes. Okay, we're jogging, we're running for about a minute, and then we'll do the health or baby bounce again. Tighten your stomach, shoulders back, pull that chin in a little bit, keep that good posture. You can tense your arms up if you want, and that will help create more definition and burn fuel. Health bounce, baby bounce, 30 seconds. I hope everybody's feeling good. Now what we do virtually every night or morning is we turn on the app, but we watch it on our phone. We have a cell phone holder that fits on the unit, or we'll watch it on an iPad and we set it up on a stand, and then we watch a television show. So we're watching the show, the TV, and it will ding. It has a little dinger. Sound system on the TV is not working, but it will ding in between each movement. So on your Mr. Rebounder app, when we get this loaded this week, then it will ding in between each movement. So you can watch the show and it'll ding, you look down, see the next movement, continue to watch the show. This is the reason I designed the Mr. Rebounder app, is to play in instead of work out, and have our kids say, hey, you want to watch a show? Great, go turn on the Mr. Rebounder app and you can watch your show. Follow the app. Kids are now Cellercise potatoes every night instead of just a couch potato. And it works. We even have a little superhero astronaut that kids can exercise with instead of this avatar. Okay, yes, Justice.
Lars says, do all moves come with the Mr. Rebounder app, or are some of the newer moves extra?
No, all these moves now come with the Mr. Rebounder app. And by the way, like everything else, the cost unfortunately is going to go up. But anybody getting the app is on sale right now. It's just a little over $4 a month. It's not very much. And you have over 35 follow along routines. Let's breathe. All right, now we're going to do the jogging in place. So as, what was I saying? You can get the Mr. Rebounder app at a discount right now. And everybody who gets it at the current price, you're grandfathered. Means your cost will never go up for as long as you maintain a subscription. And we continue to add to this all the time. So it's, and we're going to continue to make more improvements. That feel good. Okay, health baby bounce. Shoulders back, chin in. You can tighten the stomach wall if you want, but breathe. I want to thank all those people that are out there putting together programs that are really making a difference, that are really promoting and getting the Cellerciser out there in the public's eye. And we've got some really good people. Now you can also sit down further if you want more intensity, and it's going to really work those knees more. And again, the reason for the balance bar is if we didn't have it, we'd fall backwards. But by having it, we can keep the weight over the thigh. If we didn't have it, we'd have a tendency to lean forward, and that takes the weight off the thighs. So it goes from a 12-cylinder engine to maybe an 8 or 6-cylinder engine. Ah, it feels good. And go easy. You should be generating some heat now, because this is lots of intensity movements. So it's a high intensity interval training built within the whole routine. Okay, run for a minute. For all those who constantly say how squeaky the Cellerciser is, I show you a remedy for that on our website. But you can hear how quiet it is. The Cellerciser has resistance. Oh, and by the way, just an update. We got our springs done. So we're in the process of putting together our new inventory now. So if you want to pre-order, or you know somebody might want to pre-order a Cellerciser at the current price, they want to do it within the next 20 days, because unfortunately I won't compromise on the quality, which means our costs have gone up. So but again, you can hear how quiet it is. Jump a run, 1 minute. Ah, I tell you, I saw a comic cartoon of Garfield, or an illustration, where he's starting off Monday morning and he looks great, smile on his face, He's got his fur all nicely groomed. And then he shows him at the end of Monday. And he looks like a twig. His fur's all scattered all over the place. He looks like a skeleton. I can relate to that sometimes. So I've been looking forward today to this program so that I can reduce some of the stress and the tension, increase the circulation. And I tell you, I don't know how you're feeling right now, but I'm feeling good. All right, baby bounce, 30 seconds. Again, lift chest up, shoulders back, pull your chin in a little bit. Help strengthen the muscles that support our posture. You guys are doing great. Next movement is going to be power breathing. All right, here we go. And now we're doing the jogging again. And we're doing this for a full minute. So go ahead and go at your pace. That feels good. Okay, back kicks. Just by leaning forward, you're working behind your head, your neck, upper back, lower back, buttocks. We're going to do this for a while. So if you're not comfortable, just do this. But this will help lift, tighten, and tone the buttocks and strengthen the lower back. If you kick out to the side just a little bit, you can get to those more trouble areas too. Now I'm going to do a variation of this, but don't do this unless you're advanced. But that's just okay, twist. That's what I wanted to add. So we loosen up the back. So we're moving circulation up and down through the valves and through the tissue. And the gentle twist helps to feed that circulation between the vertebral joints to the disc. It's far more than just stretching. Oh, it was supposed to have a sit and bounce. Stand to sit, maybe I missed it. Okay, so just do what you're comfortable doing. You kind of tighten your stomach as you're doing it. And I'm the music.
I'm texting you all that.
Oh. Okay. Good. So you can put as much effort into that as you want. Okay, the next one will be the hip rock. Kind of lift your torso up, and when you rock, stretch, stretch, stretch. This is good for getting to the psoas muscle too. That's a muscle I always forget the name of for some reason. No more. But that psoas muscle is deep on this side of the back, and this gentle stretching can help release and increase that flexibility in that area too. The psoas. Okay, next is going to be the front kick. So this one right here. This is the one I prefer to do for the stomach muscles. It leverages your weight instead of just doing a sit-up. And you're working from under your chin all the way down the whole wall. If you tilt your head back a little bit, you'll tighten under your chin too. Because all these muscles are flexing to hold your head up. Okay, let's do the health bounce or baby bounce for a minute. Huh. I'll have to find out why it didn't show up in the routine.
How long is this routine?
When it's done, it's going to be about 30 minutes. Right now, they cut us off about 28 minutes. So I need to find out why. But let's do one more power breathing. So we'll count to the count of 10 to open up again the oxygen, get it back into the bloodstream. So just like this, go. And thank you very much. All right. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Please, if you feel good about the program, the content, anything that might be helpful to somebody else, please share it with them. Thank you again for your support. We'll see you in a couple weeks. If you have any special requests for routines, let me know. We wanted to do this one just so that people have something if they really want to burn the calories, they can do it. Yes, Justice?
Could you demonstrate the ski patrol quickly? Does one move in front of the other?
Okay, we've got the ski patrol, the whippy ski patrol, and ski patrol number 2. So the ski patrol is done just by taking the right foot and you hop, you just cross feet. It's kind of like the scissors. So you go like this. Now you're working the hips, the thighs, and both sides of the knee. Just like that. And if you have trouble, just go like this until you get the feel of what that's like. Now the whippy ski patrol is just like it, but now we drop the shoulder. So we're doing it like this. So we're getting more of a stretch. We're really pumping the lymph system. We're elongating the spine. We're helping to move spinal fluid through the back. It's a good question. And then the ski patrol 2 is where, more like literally for skiers, it will give you the same burn, the same strength. So when you go out on the slopes, you're conditioned for it. But it's great for the hips, thighs, and knees anyway. And that's just done by, well, just like this. You can go slow, you can go fast, you can kind of punch it. So you can, again, you can determine the intensity. Thank you again. Appreciate all of your support. And really, even on the internet, because I don't get to get there very often, but I sure appreciate some of the comments that I've heard tonight. So thank you again. Keep up the good work. Remember, you don't have to work out when you can play in. Thank you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.